We had Jahad Carter got hurt at the beginning part of practice, and we precautionarily took him to the hospital. He's got feelings in all his limbs and stuff. We're still waiting to get a report back on exactly what's going on, but right now we're just waiting to hear from the results.
Were you able to talk to him on the field?
Yeah.
Was he was like lucid, I guess would be the right word.
Yeah.
Questions? How was practice today? What was your general feel?
It was physical. You know, he came out hot, had some people striking each other. We got some guys banged up, but that's all part of camp.
Coach, offensive line-wise, what are you seeing through these first few practices?
Well, again, this is really the first day in gear for those guys. We really haven't unleashed them. They're still working through some of the techniques and fundamentals that they need to know, but they're sticking together and they're staying out there. They're doing a good job.
Coach, I know you said you wanted to, at the press conference, you wanted to start formulating a top 7, in terms of offensive line depth chart. Has that come to fruition so far?
No, not after day one in the pads, but these guys sift themselves out really quickly. You'll know who your top guys are.
I know it was only a few plays with 11 on 11, but do you have any main takeaways from that?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
I know it was only a few 11 on 11 plays, but did you have any main takeaways, stuff that you liked from that?
We had like over 100 11 on 11 plays.
Well, from today, yeah.
From today. No, you know, the big thing, those guys are competing. The defense definitely won the day today. I mean, they rallied and they really bounced back from the first part of practice. They really dominated the second, the third, and the fourth part of practice.
How does Jahad kind of fit into that safety room as you look at it this year, and any other takeaways from their competition so far?
Jahad's one of our guys. Jahad's one of our best players.
Anyone showing growth from the spring? Maybe one of the transfers?
All those guys are really competing. They got to still learn what's going on, and we've got to see them in live contact stuff again. You know, some of those guys were in the spring, and some of those guys were not in the spring.
Elijah's the one you didn't get to see much of in the spring.
Yeah.
Any
He looks
takeaways
good. He
thus
looks
far?
good in pads, but in shorts, but football's not played in shorts.
Yeah.
We've got to see him in scrimmages.
Sure.
You know, defensive line-wise, with some of the guys that have got experience, like Terry, who's young on the team, but then Caleb coming back, what are you seeing from that unit that lost a lot?
A lot of leadership between the two people that you mentioned. Both of those guys are in the lead and stretch lines, and they're going to have to lead the young guys. The young guys are eager, and they fly around. They really do. Again, one or two of those guys got some owies today, and they're going to have to learn to battle through that stuff. They're so young in age compared to the people that they go against. But, you know, they got all that youth. We talk about youth all the time, so it'll be fun. But Caleb and Terry, those guys have to lead those young guys, make sure that they come out of the locker room the right way and they're ready to do the things they need to do here on the football field.
I think this is the first time we've talked to you since Isaiah got hurt. Any update on how he's doing? And what
No,
they're
it
doing?
looks like we're going to get him back he's going to play this year. It looks like it. We just got to wait and see how we're waiting for the swelling and stuff to go down so we can see exactly how he's going to be able to handle it.
Shoulder? I think so.
Upper body injury.
Upper body injury. So what's like best case scenario? Middle of the season? Early?
No,
the season?
earlier than that.
Okay, we said this. I mean, season's a long time. It's like a 3-month season.
No, I think we got a chance to get him earlier than that.
Okay.
Coach, a lot of fans, you talk about new guys coming in the spring. A lot of fans are wondering about Carlos Del Rio Wilson. How have you evaluated him? Throwing the ball, getting chemistry with guys. How did he look to you so far?
He looked like he was doing good, but he had a little owie on his foot, so he missed a practice and just came back. This was a practice after he just came back. So he's got, once his foot is fine, but now he's lost some time. He needs to regain the time.
Any update on, closing competition between him and QB1?
No, those guys haven't gotten enough reps and all that kind of stuff.
Coach, what have you seen from the leadership of Stefan and Deuce off the field?
Stefan and Deuce. Stefan's one of our leaders. He got a little banged up today as well. But him and Deuce are leaders on the defense, Mikhail is already been voted a captain. It'll be interesting to see who the second captain is when we get done with August. But both of those guys are part of the leadership in their groups. There's no doubt about it.
And what have you seen from them in terms of improvement so far?
Consistency. I mean, Steph does not get his credit. Stefan Thompson does not get his credit at all. Deuce is going to be one of those guys that when you've got Garrett on the other side, a lot of people are going to come after him. Our success depends on what happens when they do go after him.
You mentioned Garrett, just where he's come and how he's matured, in your opinion. I know he's been through injury, he's been through a lot that he couldn't control.
You're talking about Williams or Schrader now?
Garrett Williams.
Yeah, well, I have to ask.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, no, Garrett, you guys, I see him in the same long line as Cisco and Trill and Iffy. I mean, that's that's what you're dealing with there. That guy's going to be a pro football player.
We've seen a few different offensive line combinations. Are you trying a bunch of different ones? Or are you kind of just moving through like one at a time?
Just rolling through. We're not trying the combinations as guys go down. We just keep putting the best 5 out there, and what happens is everybody ends up learning basically everything,
Gotcha.
which gives you the experience you need to go through a season and make sure you continue to put your best 5 out.
So like we saw Enrique out there with the ones today.
Right? Because somebody had an alley, so Enrique moves up, the alley moves down, and that's how we do it.
Yeah, he's a guy who we haven't seen a ton of. I think your other, maybe Tisdale and Iowa, the other reserves near the top we've seen before. Where have you seen the development with Enrique? And what does he still have to do?
Huge development in strength. Made a big move during the spring. He's got an opportunity to be in the upper echelon of that game.
Sean had a catch here in the corner where he ran right into the.
Sean Tucker.
Yeah, Sean Tucker. Right into the. Sorry about that. Right into the fence over there. I had a feeling that wasn't the first time he's done that with the type of hustle play. When you see things like that, what does that say about one of your players?
Well, I think he's catching the ball a lot better. I mean, the new offense is getting him some opportunities to catch the football, a lot more than he had in the old offense. But he's showing some of those NFL guys that he can actually catch. So I'm really proud of him.
Seeing Tony's defense go against this offense, what do you maybe learn about seeing linebackers getting beat by Sean Tucker on routes, and you know what I mean? Like I assume you get to see it a little bit differently in that, like through how the defense reacts to it.
I'm not quite sure what you were asking, but the big thing about our defense versus, you may see a back pop open every once in a while, but we're blowing whistles.
Sure.
Sometimes those passes are sacks, and you never get to that back.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a guy open if the quarterback's on his back.
I guess even like Mikel was saying, like some of those concepts are harder to defend.
Yeah.
The option routes with like the rub and the layers to it, I guess.
I think the offense is getting the defense ready for a full season on some of the stuff that they're going to face from other offenses, which is really good.
Coach, how has Schrader evolved as a leader off the field? Film sessions, all the stuff we don't get to see that you get to see. How do you evaluate?
Well, I'm not in all of his film sessions. I like to rotate around, but he's the leader in the quarterback room. He works a lot with Coach Beck, and it's not so much one-on-one, but everybody else is in the room. But there's a lot of one-on-one conversations when you're the number one quarterback.
Is there a common goal that you want Schrader and Coach and I to be on before you play Louisville? Are you working towards something there through camp?
Be more detailed.
In terms of like being on the same page of what you want to accomplish offensively.
Well, I think the biggest thing is that he needs to be ready to do what they want him to get done, and then he needs to operate at a high level. If he operates at a high level, change moves, red zone, scoring points opportunity, scoring points, everybody's happy. All right?
Thanks, Coach.